They were sons, brothers, teenagers with dreams. One by one, they vanished from the streets of suburban Chicago. For years, families waited, worried, wondered, but the truth was more horrifying than anyone could imagine. The man responsible? He lived just blocks away, throwing neighborhood parties, running a business, dressing up as a clown. Behind the makeup, he hid a secret buried in the crawl space of his own home. 33 lives, lost, forgotten, until the earth gave up its silence. This isn't just the story of a killer, it's the story of the boys he took, and the justice they deserve. It started small. One boy, then another, first months apart, then weeks, all young, all male, all gone without a trace. In January 1972, 16-year-old Timothy McCoy left his home to catch a bus. He never made it back. The case barely made the local news, but the disappearances didn't stop. They multiplied. Young men and teenagers, many between 14 and 21, began vanishing across the Chicago area. Most were dismissed as runaways. Some were living difficult lives. Others were just out on an errand or heading to work. One boy, John Butkovich, was last seen talking to his employer. That employer was John Wayne Gacy. But at the time, no one put the pieces together. To the outside world, these were isolated tragedies. Sad, but unrelated. Police departments didn't coordinate. No statewide alerts were issued. And all the while, a pattern was forming right beneath their feet. To the outside world, John Wayne Gacy was a model citizen. Born in 1942, he grew up in Chicago's suburbs, the son of a strict and abusive father. As an adult, he seemed to live the American dream, running a successful construction business and becoming active in local politics. He even performed at children's hospitals and charity events, dressed as Pogo, the clown. But behind that carefully constructed image, Gacy hid a much darker reality. He had a history of criminal behavior. In 1968, he was convicted of assaulting a teenage boy in Iowa. After serving time, he returned to Illinois and built a new life, but also new patterns of predation. His charm and apparent success made him seem trustworthy to his community and, tragically, to his victims. By day, John Wayne Gacy was a respected businessman, hiring local teenagers to work for his construction company. He was known for throwing elaborate neighborhood parties, sometimes attended by police officers, politicians, and even children. But beneath the surface, Gacy's life was a web of deception. He used his charm and influence to lure young men to his home, often under the pretense of offering them jobs. Neighbors described him as friendly, helpful, the kind of man who seemed to know everyone on the block. But in reality, Gacy was leading a secret existence, one marked by manipulation, coercion, and escalating violence. His dual identity allowed him to continue his crimes for years, undetected and unsuspected by those around him. In December 1978, the disappearance of 15-year-old Robert Piest sparked a turning point. Robert was last seen leaving work at a local pharmacy. After mentioning to his mother that he was going to meet a man about a job, that man was John Wayne Gacy. When police began investigating, they found Gacy's past conviction for assault, raising immediate suspicion. Authorities obtained a search warrant and began surveilling Gacy's home and movements. Officers reported that Gacy remained calm and cooperative, even inviting them inside for coffee. But as they gathered more evidence, strange odors from beneath the house, items belonging to missing boys, their suspicions deepened. The careful facade Gacy had built for years was starting to crumble. On December 21st, 1978, investigators returned to Gacy's home with a second search warrant. This time, They went into the crawl space beneath his house and uncovered a horrifying truth. The remains of multiple victims were discovered beneath the floorboards, buried just inches apart. In total, 29 bodies would be recovered from Gacy's property. 4 more were later found in nearby rivers. The news shocked the nation. Neighbors, friends, even the police, who had spoken to him just days earlier, were stunned by the scale of his crimes. John Wayne Gacy was arrested that same day. His double life had finally collapsed. John Wayne Gacy's trial began on February 6, 1980, at the Cook County Criminal Court in Chicago. The courtroom was packed with journalists, members of the victims' families, and curious spectators. The nation watched closely as one of the most prolific serial murder cases in U.S. history unfolded. Over 5 weeks, the prosecution presented overwhelming evidence, from physical items recovered in Gacy's home to chilling testimony from surviving victims. Gacy's defense team argued that he was insane at the time of the killings and should be confined to a psychiatric institution rather than prison. However, court-appointed psychiatrists testified that while Gacy exhibited antisocial personality traits, he was legally sane and fully responsible for his actions. On March 12th, after just 2 hours of deliberation, the jury returned its verdict. Guilty on all 33 counts of murder. The following day, Gacy was sentenced to death. He spent the next 14 years on death row at Menard Correctional Center, maintaining his innocence in public interviews, despite the extensive evidence against him. On May 10th, 1994, John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection. His case remains a chilling example of how evil can hide behind a mask of normalcy. John Wayne Gacy's crimes shocked the world, but the legacy of this case belongs not to him, but to the resilience of the victims' families and the enduring commitment to justice. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. It helps bring attention to important stories like this one.
Hey, I got news for you. I killed 33 times. You're only gonna kill me once. Gacy outsmarted him again.